Today is December 25th. Today is the appearance day of Lord Jesus. Actually, they don't know when he appeared. They made up that date. Some people say today is the day Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. But actually this year, Gita Jayanti was earlier. In any case, today is December 25th. Today's quote is entitled, "What do you tell yourself?" It's not what's happening to you that affects you. It is what you tell yourself about what's happening to you that affects you. So, I've told a story before about a tiger. About a lion. And the lion was abandoned when he was young, and in the vicinity there were some bear cubs and their mother. So they adopted him. He actually looked like a lion. He looked like a bear cub. And I went online to check this out. And there's certain kinds of lions and certain kinds of bears that when they're young, cubs, they look identical. So they thought he was a bear. And when he grew up, they found out that he wasn't a bear. But, well, they didn't find out he wasn't a bear. They just thought something was wrong with him, that he was a bear. There was just something wrong with him. And they said, "Out of here, buddy. You know, what will the neighbors think when they see us hanging around with you? So you have to go." So they escorted him out into the forest and said, "Please don't come back. There's something wrong with you. You're an embarrassment to our prestigious bear family lineage." And so off he went. And now he's lamenting. There's something wrong with me. I'm an ugly bear, kind of like the ugly duckling story, right? I'm an ugly bear. Something's wrong with me. Maybe I'm a retard. Maybe I'm a mutation. So he's lamenting. And then one Sankirtan devotee sees him. And he knew the bear. He knew the lion. He saw him when he was a lion cub. And the lion's name was Kashi. So he said, "Kashi, you look quite depressed. What's going on?" He said, "Yeah, I just found out that something's wrong with me." Said, "Well, what's wrong with you?" I said, "Well, my bear family rejected me and they told me that I'm an ugly bear, or I'm a deformed bear, and they want nothing to do with me. So, my life's a mess. I have no future, no prospect, and who's going to want to be friends with me? No other bears will want to hang out with me." And the Sankirtan devotee said, "Kashi, you're not a bear. You don't have to worry, you're a lion." He said, "No, I'm this mutated bear." So this conversation went back and forth, and the Sankirtan devotee kept saying, "No, Kashi, you're a lion." And eventually, Kashi got it. He started looking at himself, and the Sankirtan devotee said, "No, you're actually a lion. Your parents abandoned you, and you were raised by bears. You're not actually a bear." So now, what happened when Kashi realized he was a lion? Wow, he's the king of the jungle. He's the man. Powerful. No, so there's nothing wrong with him. You're just a lion. And in the jungle, the lion is the king. So, you're like high on the totem pole now. So now Kashi is very happy, right? So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that nothing external changed. Only the conception of how Kashi saw himself changed. So if you see yourself as a loser, if you see that there's something wrong with you, if you say, "Oh, I'll never be Krishna conscious, I got the wrong DNA to be a good devotee, I can't sit down and chant my rounds, I'm like, I have to walk around, I'm useless." If you think that way, then what happens is, our psychology is that it molds us to act in the way we think about ourselves. So if you say, "That's impossible, I can never do that," well, you won't do it. If you say, "That's possible, I could do that," you will do it. If you think, "I'm intelligent," you'll act intelligently. If you think, "I'm stupid," you'll act stupidly. You may be intelligent and think you're stupid. Do you know there's many intelligent people that don't think they're intelligent, and they don't act intelligently? That's unfortunate. So the point of this quote is just to make us realize that sometimes we can get very negative about who we are, We can feel very negative about our abilities, anything about us. And as a result of that, although it has no reality, it's not the way it is, it's just the way we feel, then we act that way. And the last thing I want to leave you with is, the interesting thing about the mind is the mind doesn't evaluate reality. The mind just responds to whatever you put into it. So if you think, yeah, I could do that, yeah, I can go out and distribute 100 big books today, you'll go out and try. If you put in your mind, no, I could never do that, then you won't. You may not even get out the door, or you may get out the door and not try. The mind doesn't know whether you can distribute 100 books or not. It only knows what you program into it, and whatever you program into it, it becomes the software, and then you act it out. Now you might say, well, what if I'm incapable? All right, maybe you can't do 100 big books, but by having the confidence that you could do close to that, obviously you're going to do more than thinking, I can't do anything, right? So the mind is interesting. It's not a reality meter. It doesn't gauge reality. It sees reality according to what you put into it, and then it acts it out. So, put in the right thinking, the right thoughts, the right feelings, the right conceptions, and you'll act properly. You're a devotee. You're ultimately you're pure. You are a pure devotee in potential. So think of that. That's your identity. That's inspiring.